My name's Sonora Taylor, and I'm thrilled to be included in Candicia Press's Women of Horror Volume 4, Don't Break the Oath. And I am also thrilled to be sharing with you an excerpt from the story I have included in this volume, which is called Capable of Loving. It's a new story, never been published before, and it's about a children's television host who finds himself in a predicament when he meets one of his fans. So I'm going to be reading to you from the very beginning, and I hope you'll pick up the full book, Women of Horror Volume 4, Don't Break the Oath, and read the whole story, along with the stories of all the other talented women included. So this is the first passage from Capable of Loving. Desmond fiddled with his bow tie in lieu of wiping his brow. The lights glared hot on his forehead even though they weren't filming that day. The set had to look exactly like it did on television, or else the children would sense that something was amiss, and they wouldn't trust their meeting. It was important that the children never lost their trust in Desmond. For many of them, Desmond was the only person that they thought they could trust. For 3 years, Desmond came to work and spoke to children in Loudoun County by speaking to a camera. Desmond's after-school hour was a staple on public access television, and Desmond was a hero to the people of Loudoun County, namely their children. Desmond didn't have designs for television when he went to college. He majored in psychology, and to pass time between classes, and also earn a little money, he worked as an assistant for a local puppeteer on his public access television show. Jack the puppeteer was an old man, one Desmond imagined had a heyday before he was born. He needed help assembling and then dismantling his set, and making sure the puppets were cleaned and ready before each taping. The puppets needed to look the same each day, Jack told Desmond on his first day. The kids need something that stays the same. It gives them something to rely on. It gives them something to trust. Jack died within the year, and his show ended quietly along with him. But Desmond made enough of an impression with Jack's producers that they called him 3 years later, after he'd graduated and long after he'd left his brief career in television production. Jack left a gap that can't be filled, they'd said, but kids need a show like he had. We've had parents calling our network wondering when we'll have another show like his. So you want me to give you some ideas? Desmond had asked. Sort of. I was going to pitch you a show you could star in. Desmond considered it. He hadn't considered his job on Jack the Puppeteer to be more than a gig in college, but his debts were mounting. He decided to put off graduate school when his senior year almost gave him a nervous breakdown, and his desk job was transitioning from tolerably dull to unbearable in his third year of doing the same thing. The show would at least give him something new to do while he considered what he wanted to do next. Desmond met with the producers. They liked that he was connected to Jack, but loosely. Everyone agreed that Desmond's show should be its own show and not a spin-off. Desmond was especially grateful to not have to work with the puppets. Jack was good at puppetry and voices, but Desmond was not. Desmond preferred to speak to kids himself. Desmond's after-school hour was a bigger hit than anyone expected. Most of Jack's viewers returned, along with new ones. Desmond proved to be a natural with kids. He taught lessons and spoke to them in groups on camera. There was soon a waiting list several months long to meet Mr. Desmond, so long that he began to set up meet and greet sessions off camera so the kids would get a chance to talk to him. The sessions always went well, and the kids always left happy. And yet Desmond was always nervous before them. He couldn't help but worry that he would fail one of the kids, that this would be the session where he said the wrong thing or upset them. He sometimes told a story that was more frightening to a child than delightfully scary, or made a joke that got stony silence as opposed to a giggle. The world hadn't ended when those things had happened, but in Desmond's mind, each mistake was its own little apocalypse, an end of the world that he lived over and over, like his own personal Groundhog Day. So on a day under the lights, a day without filming but with the same set of nerves, Desmond wiped his brow as he prepared to meet Sarah Green. Well, if you want to find out how that meeting goes, then you'll need to check out Don't Break the Oath, Women of Horror, Volume 4, coming soon from Candicia Press. Thank you. Bye.